Krebs effect. That's a blast from the past. Yes.
John, does a game like this get the coaches excited as well as everyone else?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, every game has its importance. I mean, they're all, you can't, if you start making one game more important than the other, you start losing games you're supposed to win. So, but it's an exciting game because they're making it a big deal on ESPN and all the other stuff. So,
Cal, there's some discussion now about whether they're the best team in the country, despite some undefeated teams. Do they belong in that discussion?
they haven't won or lost in so long. I mean, what they are is a very talented, veteran, senior-oriented team that plays with discipline for 40 minutes. And I think Syracuse plays different, but is very similar. They don't stop playing even when you're making, like Pitt made shots from out of bounds 42 feet, made 2 of them, and they didn't stop playing. Syracuse just played. So, I mean, they're 2 teams, and again, I haven't seen Wichita play enough. Arizona's a veteran team that's pretty disciplined. But I would say there is an argument that they're the best team in the country. They're talented, they're veteran, they're disciplined. You know, there's probably been 7 games that they played with 4 minutes to go, the game's in doubt, and they won them all. There's a couple of them were one going away.
Cal, this will be another game where probably a big storyline people will talk about is the youth versus experience. Do you want your team to put that excuse to bed?
Well, you never know how the game will play out, but, you know, again, this isn't that's not the only thing that will happen in this game. I mean, this game is going to be our 19-year-olds against their 23-year-olds. Now, how does that play out? I know when they're 35 and 36 and you're 30, that's a difference. That's the old guys got a little problem there. But at the younger ages, they got an advantage, and it is an advantage. Most of it is the discipline they play with. They're skilled. I mean, their guards are skilled, their bigs are skilled, they can throw it to the post, they run their stuff, but they do it for 40 minutes. And we haven't been able to right now. And most of it is because of our lack of experience.
We know, and you know, the players know, everybody, that this is just another game, as far as you all are concerned, another game. But it's a huge game. In the players' mind, is it barometer to them? The barometer to them, this is where they are?
I don't know. I just, you know, this game will tell us where we are. And I would imagine they're coming in not to just win, they want to smash. And so we're going to find out. I mean, there have been games where the other team came in excited. We weren't able to withstand the beginning of the game. We got down so far early that even though with the rest of the game we won, you didn't win by enough. That's happened to us 3 or 4 different times. So I think our kids are excited. They had a great practice last night. I mean, I didn't feel real good, and which made me believe they wouldn't have felt real good because of our travel. And then we went in and they practiced. I think they're excited about playing. This is why they came here, but they know it's a hard game. I mean, they know what we're up against. I mean, you know, like you're saying, this team could be the #1 team in the country, and they got all seniors.
How well do they play defense collectively as a unit?
Their emotion is all tied into their defense. That's what they do well. They're a good offensive team. I mean, they'll score, and if we don't get back in transition, it'll be a similar game to Missouri, where they're taking 11 layups deep. Just get it in and go. Whether you score or not, they play that way. But in their defense, you know, they have a little 3/4 court press. You know, we, like other games, we got to try to negate that. And they do a great job sprinkling in their zone late. They're 1-3-1 late in games and late in halves, and the rest of it's more of a 2-3. But basically, it's like Auburn found out. Why are we playing them zone? They're better against zone than they are man. Just play them man-to-man. So I would imagine he's watching that tape, just like Tony was watching tapes, and we're pretty good versus zone. Whether it's 1-3-1 or 2-3, we got to get more efficient offensively when we're man-to-man.
Cal, the better
No, I think what happens is we get up and they revert back. That's what I think they do. I mean, I don't have the answer for it. I wish I did, or we wouldn't be up 10, and the next time you look around, it's a 2-point game. You know, let's get it to 17. Let's get this thing. We don't do that. We just come right back. And again, the effort level, the intensity, the energy, the emotion is all tied to, it just reverts. So this game, you know, we'll see.
How has James responded from the other?
It's good. We had a nice meeting today. We watched some tape, he and I together. Going to show some more tape and of him to the team. And James is fine. He's a great kid, but he's settling for jumpers. He's trying to avoid all contact. In this game, it's not a game you can play then. You know, if that's how you're going to play, you got to. These dudes, they play roughhouse basketball now. There are going to be fouls now. May not be called, but there are going to be a lot of fouls, both ways, because the game is going to be physical.
Is that the gist of what you were showing him on tape? Those moments. Where
Just being ready and prepared when you catch the ball, not being, being down, being ready, attack and go, so.
John, there was a play when Florida played Tennessee Tuesday where Vendrick Young all-out dive for a loose ball, and your players were saying you showed that to them. What was the message?
Well, because what are you willing to do to win a game? I know what he's willing to do to win a game. I saw it. And now you look at it. His feet are off the floor, and he's diving in a pronate, bat, go, and I showed it to him. Now, what are you willing to do? And I said, look at the Tennessee guy as he runs by him. He made sounds. I don't know what the sounds were. But as he dove by, well, are you going to make the sound, or are you going to dive with him? It's every experience I can use, I'm trying to teach.
Sounds like Florida's playing the way you want your guys to play.
Well, historically, we don't have 5 freshmen starting, so we're usually a little bit better defensively, even though we're in the top 25 or 30 right now defensively, and still breaking down and still not playing with the discipline we need. But top 5 offensively in efficiency, and still not passing the ball all the time that we could, and we do. And when we do, we look so good. And then we still have the ball stoppers and other things going on. When we play with great energy and intensity, wow. And then all of a sudden it backs up, and we're back to a pace of the game that you can't win at. All of a sudden we're great in transition defense, and all of a sudden they got 3 straight layups after we made a free throw. How can that happen? You're talking 18-year-olds.
How has Julius matured and handled some of the double teams and the physical play?
It's still a work in progress. It's still a work in progress. Julius is a great passer. Literally, just not a willing passer right now. So what happens is, by the time he passes it, it's getting tipped, or he's getting tipped, or he's learning. And there are times they're going to take you away, then they take you away, and your teammates do the damage, and we win anyway. Then go rebound and defend. He's still learning. It's a work in progress. But he's getting better. He's getting better. I look at this whole team. You think of Andrew having to get himself right and really focus on himself getting right, thinking right, playing with more energy, getting right. But to lead, what's he have to be thinking about? Everybody else. So, wait a minute, I got to think of myself because I'm not right yet. And you want me to think about everybody else. It's a hard deal, but he's getting better. And then on top of that, there's another guy that looks like you, and when he plays bad, they think it was you. So if one or the other played bad, they stunk today. Think about that move.
Julius, he was a fairly sought-after guy out of high school, and a lot of people thought maybe he'd end up at Kansas and he'd become a dominant relationship with him. How did you kind of develop that relationship to convince him that Kentucky was kind of the right school for him?
What happens is you want to talk about Cal can say this and talks right, and I hate to talk about myself in the third person, but the results, it's 100% success rate. You're going to graduate, you're going to get drafted, you're going to become an all-star, a gold medalist, or you graduate, or you do both, or you become a movie actor. And you could walk in and say, well, players know the last 3 years. They don't know 20 years ago. They don't know. They know the last 3. And again, what's happened here, the results speak for themselves, but what they don't get is how hard it is. And what I try to explain to them in the recruiting process, this will be the hardest thing you ever do. We're the most analyzed program in the history of sport. And that means you personally are going to be overanalyzed. And everybody's going to give you their best shot. They're going to try to make their career at your expense. They're trying to become a pro at your expense to prove that they are better than you. And they're not going to sleep there. I mean, it's hard here. And so, you know, not every kid comes here, nor should they. This is not for everybody out there. They go other places. You know, I focus on our guys, and that's all I try to do, the guys that want to be here, and then understand how hard it is. I mean, you talk to any of these guys, they never realized it would be this tough. They never did. And now they're here, and it's like, oh my gosh. You know, and then you're supposed to win every game by 20 on top of that. And don't go losing on the road to a team with 3 pros. Don't do that one. You know, I mean, it's a different deal here.
Last question. There's some, you know, the old saying, everybody goes into a fight with a plan until they get hit in the mouth or whatever. You talk about teams keep playing through all that stuff. How good are you guys at keeping playing when that first wave hits you?
We've been all right. I mean, we've lost 5 games by a total of 20 points. And some of them, they came out swinging and we got down early. Other games we got down and we never, you know, it's not like we've lost by 18 points. I mean, you know, but again, our loss is double anybody else's loss. But that's another point. But we've been hanging around even when we get knocked in the mouth. You know, this is going to be a hard one for us. It's a great opportunity. It's why you come here, to play these kind of games against highly ranked teams that come into your building favored to win with veterans, and here we are. You young guys can't win this kind of game. They're going to give up at some point. Something's going to happen, and that veteran team's going to blow by them. It might happen that way, but that's what we're up against. But, you know, like I said, I like my team. I like how they're responding to stuff. I like their growth. Would I want them to be farther ahead? Yeah. What am I? Yeah, I'd like them to be the finished product right now. They're not. You'll see warts. You're going to see them do stupid things. And you'll say, why did he do that? And I ask the same question in the huddle, and the guy says, I don't know why he did that. And he doesn't know why he did it. I've always done that. I know, but that's wrong. And those are those habits and the way they think. Why did you respond that way? I don't know. And that's the part of teaching and coaching young players. And I've had a ball with this team. I've had a ball coaching them. And I'll say it again. You know, we're every game is someone swinging, and we're trying to figure it out. They're trying to grow as an individual player yet come together. Think how hard that is. Trying to establish who they are and how they have to play, yet do it for each other. Because this stuff is impossible. I told them yesterday, it's not fair what I'm asking you to do. Now do it. Now do it. It's not fair. No one, you can't ask kids to do what we ask them to do. It's not fair. But now do it. And they're trying. So, all right? Thanks, folks.
They